So we had KSI taking on Tommy Fury this past Saturday, and not a lot to say there. Not a lot to say there. It definitely did not live up to much of the hype. It wasn't a very good boxing fight, but then again, like I mentioned in my Logan Paul Dylan Dennis video, we're not seeing two high level boxers going at it. We got a YouTube star who has done a little bit of boxing, but isn't at the highest level, and definitely you can see that he has never really trained this throughout his whole life. He just decided to take this on a couple of years ago, and this is what we have now. Tommy Fury, who's been around boxing all his life, but has just recently started taking it on the past couple of years. He's taken on a few fighters who are, not necessarily the best in the world. He did win over Jake Paul, but at the end of the day, it's still, you can still consider him a YouTube boxer, not necessarily a real, actual professional boxer. So with that being said, the fight really did not live up to the hype. The trash talking was definitely a lot more entertaining, especially with Tom Fury's dad, John Fury, who was completely just unloading everybody and just always has something to say and always trash talking with KSI. It was really hard for KSI to get anything out during the weigh-ins, during the press conferences, because you just hear John Fury just constantly going at him, and it was just so funny and so entertaining. You always gotta love it when a Fury fight is happening, because he's gonna be there, and he's always gonna trash talk. It's always gonna be entertaining, always. But unfortunately, that fight was just completely lackluster. It definitely did not live up to the hype. It definitely wasn't entertaining whatsoever. They both look very, very amateurish. Very amateurish. The previous fight with Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis, at least Logan Paul looked like he showed some skills a little bit more over compared to this fight. You got KSI, who was just constantly rushing in little by little, using the sideways stance. He almost looked like Michael Venom Page a little bit, or even a Israel, not even really a necessary Israel. I can't really think about who else. Maybe even a Lyoto Machida stance, where he's just constantly sideways and he's just going for that in and out, I guess you say blitzkrieg, where he just connects with you and then dives right back out. You got Tommy Fury, who's connected with his head quite a few times, the back of the head quite a few times, which end up getting a point deduction and such. But the end of the fight ends up happening. It goes to decision, and you got Tommy Fury winning by split decision. KSI was not too happy with that decision. He wasn't, like I said, the fight could have really gone either way. It could have even been a draw. I think I would have been more satisfied with the draw, because I necessarily did not see a clear-cut winner in this one. They both, in a sense, could have done a lot better, but they didn't. But with styles mix fights. So it is a little bit harder for somebody to take on a different opponent. Like some opponent, like, Tommy Fury could take on Jake Paul in a different style than he could against KSI, and vice versa. It would just be a little bit challenging. You always got to see what kind of opponent you are going against, and then you got to utilize the style to your advantage that's going to make you win the fight. You can't always use the same style over and over again with all your opponents. If you use it all your opponents, then you're just going to get figured out, and they're going to know your timing, they're going to know your moves, and before you know it, you're going to get knocked out. So Tommy Fury had to adapt a different style. KSI had to adapt a different style, because that was not a style I seen him go against with Logan Paul as well. So it was definitely very different. But unfortunately, with the styles that they came up with, it definitely was very lackluster. I did not enjoy it whatsoever. I think the main event was Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis, even though that fight itself wasn't super great or wasn't something great to talk about. But nonetheless, it was a little bit more better than this fight. That's for sure. So Tommy Fury gets the decision. KSI is very unhappy. Where do we go next? Well, quite possibly, I don't see why you wouldn't do a rematch on an undercard. You put that in an undercard somewhere else, with somebody else being the pay-per-view, being the main event, because you're going to get a lot of people who are not going to be too happy seeing this again. With the fact that this fight wasn't as great as it could have been, a lot of people are not going to be too happy to pay for it. It could be something for free. I would recommend that. But other than that, it would have to be an undercard somewhere else, because that was not main event quality to me, in my personal opinion. So You could do a rematch with KSI possibly doing that, or he could possibly go out and find another opponent. You know, I remember him even talking about Tyron Woodley. I remember there's a few other opponents that he was talking about with down the line that he was talking about facing. But I'm sure he's gonna want to get this one back with Tommy Fury. With Tommy Fury on the other hand, he's called out Conor McGregor and a few other guys, but I think where the real money is at is the Paul brothers. You want to take on Logan Paul since you already defeated Jake Paul, or get Jake Paul in a rematch. That would be something that you would definitely want to do, because anybody else you're not going to win. You're not going to get, you want to go against higher caliber boxers. You want to take your boxing career seriously. That's great and all, but with the skills and the ability that you have now, I promise you, anybody in the top 10 light heavyweight or cruiserweight division is pretty much going to stop everybody in the whole Misfits boxing category. All of them. KSI, Logan Paul, Tommy Fury, and Jake Paul. All these guys. They don't stand a chance against the upper echelon boxers. So if I was Tommy Fury, I would personally stick with the Misfits boxing, stick with KSI, stick with Jake Paul or Logan Paul. That would be my personal opinion and my personal choice for Tommy Fury. But it's up to him. So guys, let me know what you think of the fight. Let me know what you think is going to be next for KSI or Tommy Fury. Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.